All right. Thanks everybody for coming today. If you all want to find a seat and get settled in a little bit, we'll be starting here in just a few minutes. Just a few. All right. So thank you everybody for coming today. We have a very, very fun meeting planned for you all. Um, so yeah, we have the financial services sales and marketing certificate today. But before we do that, I just have a quick couple of updates and upcoming events for you guys. Oh, okay. So this isn't on there, but next Monday at 6:30, we're gonna be doing a little AMA study night right here in this room. We're gonna have some Rocket Coco's Pizza brought in. Gabby Matamoros, our VP of Sports and Experiential Marketing, ringing up some gift cards from Culver's and Roses that we're going to be handing away. So make sure to come to that. If you're not doing anything and have some homework you need to work on, we can maybe throw the Bucks game on if we want to. It'll just be real fun to get everybody in a room and have some good pizza. And then keep in mind there will be no meeting next week because we're all gonna be on Thanksgiving break and we're not gonna expect you guys to come all the way back up here for a general meeting. Even though I know that you all would, right? I mean, come on. And then in 2 weeks, so December 3rd will be the last meeting of the semester. Mal and I are planning out a pretty fun activity for all of us during that date. So make sure you come to that. And then on December 5th, so the Friday after the 3rd, we'll be doing the annual end of semester AMA banquet that we call Panquet. So I'll be going over some more information on that in a few slides here. But before I do that, we went on another sales competition trip to Rhode Island last week. So congratulations to the team of Alexia Lewis, myself, Joe Siskowski, Ben Frantall, Jack Molnar, Hayden Chitwood, Sophia Bussey, Jack Onis, Brendan Lewandowski, and Ava Sturbin for representing Whitewater greatly once again. And then I want to make a special shout out to Alexia, Joe, Hayden, and Brendan for making the quarterfinals in that in speed cell, and Hayden Chitwood for winning the whole dang thing in that speed cell competition. Good job, guys. Okay, so like I said, the AMA annual end of semester banquet is going to be on December 5th. It's a really great opportunity for everybody to kind of come in and review all that we did in AMA over the last couple months. I know my mom likes coming to it because she likes to see that I'm not just totally doing nothing in college. So it's really really great opportunity. It's a lot of fun. I've been to a bunch, so please come. It's going to be free, which is the first time we've ever done that. It'll be on campus in the UC. Just another great opportunity. And with that, I'm going to hand the mic over to Andy Dahl.
All right. Thank you, Rafa. So again, tonight is our financial services sales and marketing certificate. Before we get to that, I just want to talk about a joint program that the finance department and marketing department offer for students, both for business majors as well as non-business majors. So we have a 4-credit financial services sales certificate that benefits students that are finance and marketing majors, but also if you're another business major or even a non-business major, you can also complete this. So the financial services industry, is a lot more than just financial planning, although that's certainly an aspect, but you'll also hear about insurance tonight. And if you look around you, everything in this room is insured, right? Your cars are insured, people's homes, businesses need insurance. There are vast aspects of the financial services industry that may not necessarily come immediately to mind. So you can see there are careers in financial planning, insurance, banking, stockbrokers, a lot of different opportunities. So how does this benefit you? Well, if you're a finance major, what employers have told us is that you have really great financial technical knowledge, but maybe you need additional training in communication and sales. On the other hand, marketing, you've been doing some of the sales competitions, you have those communication skills, but maybe you lack some of the key financial knowledge that would benefit you in these kinds of positions. So this is something that benefits you as well as benefits employers that are looking for students like you. So for those of you that are business majors, you all have to take the principles of marketing and the business finance course. So you've already completed those, once you get to a certain point in your business degree. If you're a non-business student, you'd have to take those two courses. But essentially, there's 2 more finance courses and 2 more marketing courses that you would need to take to get this certificate. So if you're a finance major, you're going to be taking those 3 courses up at the top already. You just need to add 2 more marketing courses, the principles of selling and the advanced sales. If you're a marketing major, you just need to add the essentials of financial planning and insurance, because you're already taking the business finance, and chances are you're taking those sales courses already. So again, if you have an interest, you don't have to be a finance or marketing major. During the sign out, there's going to be an option to check, I want more information about this. Otherwise, you can also reach out to Mark Gamak from the finance department, or you can email myself. And then again, if you do this, don't forget to talk about this in interviews, promote it on LinkedIn, and so forth. So again, if you have questions, please reach out. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dave and our group of panelists.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out this evening. Appreciate having you all here. As always, we will have a panel discussion around selling in the financial service and insurance industries. We'll have time for some audience questions as well. So if you come up with a question during the event, just kind of put your hand up and we'll make sure that we get around you to pick those questions off. If I can get my panelists up here, we will get started. All right, I'm insured. So we have 3 organizations that we do quite a bit of work with here at the university with us tonight: Federated Insurance, Cottingham and Butler, and Northwestern Mutual. We're going to take them in an order, I believe. Yeah, Northwestern Mutual is going to go first. So we'll give you a couple of minutes to introduce yourselves, and then I know we have slides for each organization to talk a little bit about your organization's opportunities for our students as well. Okay, Katie, you're first. Or Jillian can go first, either one. Hang on. I don't think your mic's on.
Hello. Okay, there you go. Do this very often. Me neither. But this is Jillian and I'm Katie. I'm the campus recruiter for the Southern Wisconsin offices. So we recruit for Middleton, Delafield, Janesville, Rockford, and Kenosha. So yeah, we're going to talk about the Botcher Network offices.
All right, I'm Jillian. I'm a Whitewater alumni. Went to school for finance with an emphasis in financial planning. There's like a lag. It's kind of annoying. Sorry. So we do holistic financial planning, which means insurance, investments, retirement planning, education funding for children, estate planning, taxes, really everything under the sun. When you think of finance, we can help with in some shape or form. I like to call it offensive and defensive planning. The offensive side is going to be the quote unquote fun stuff, as fun as finance can get. saving for today, investing for tomorrow, wealth accumulation at its core. And then the end all be all goal for 99% of people is going to be retirement, right? And then the defensive side of planning is not the most fun thing to talk about, but it's really important to plan for and usually overlooked. What were to happen if we were to pass away prematurely, right? What if we couldn't go to work tomorrow due to some type of sickness, injury, disability, whether it's physical or cognitive? And what if down the road, us or a family member, loved one were to need some type of long-term care? How would we pay for that care and how long would our personal assets hold up? So our goal is helping our clients think through both sides of that planning, essentially. And we are brokers, essentially. We fly Northwestern Mutual's flag, but we're not limited to their products. At the end of the day, we all have access to the same stock market, same insurance products. We're not limited to Northwestern Mutual.
Okay, thank you very much. And Jillian, what is your role specifically?
So I'm a financial advisor. I started in the internship program as a college financial advisor. I'm also the director of development for our under 5-year advisors, so our full-time advisors, as well as the college unit captain. So I play a big part in our internship as well.
Okay, fantastic. And Katie, I may have missed it, but your role with Northwestern?
Yeah, so I'm the campus recruiter. I started off graduating from UW-Madison in May. So I'm a very recent grad. I think I can add a very different perspective to all of your young college students because I know what it's like to get a job in this market. But yeah, my job is to primarily conduct the interview process and then guide you through our 3-step process and then hopefully to onboarding with us. But yeah, I'm the main point of contact from interview all the way up to accepted offer.
Okay, thanks. Do we have more slides for them?
Yeah, we should have one more.
All right, great.
Well, this is our financial advising internship. I'm going to share a little bit about what it entails, but you're really planning for clients. So if helping people is something that's deeply rooted in what you believe in, this is such a great industry to get started in. You're helping clients reach their long-term financial goals through the offensive and defensive approach that Jillian talked about. And then you're working with top advisors in the nation. So you have the opportunity to do joint work. So you're paired with experienced financial advisors. Whether they've been in the business for 5, 10, or 20 plus years, you're going to meet such a wide range of individuals with different skill sets, and you're going to learn from them and hopefully take some of their knowledge into your own practice as well. With that comes building your own business. So it's really entrepreneurial at its core. If you ever wanted to start your own business, this is very similar in that aspect. You are going to develop great networking skills and yeah, you're really building your own market and then flexible year-round schedules. So we understand you're a student. School comes before anything else. We help you develop something really cool called an ideal calendar. So you get to essentially pick when you have your extracurriculars, your hobbies, your homework, and then we'll work with you to plan your working hours and how we can help with mentorship and training as well.
All right, outstanding. Thank you very much. As always, our panelists will be available afterwards, so you'll be able to speak with them. And if for some reason you can't get connected to them tonight, let one of your advisors or professors know and we can get you in touch with them. Ben Karnowski from Federated Insurance, you're up.
Hey guys, I'm Ben Kornowski from Federated Insurance. I'm the district marketing manager, district sales and hiring manager for Wisconsin. It's kind of crazy to think about a year ago, I was worried about having to run out of here because my wife was very pregnant. So I just had a realization of how old my son is. Pretty crazy. So sorry. But Federated Insurance, who's heard of Federated Insurance before? Okay, a few of you guys. I've probably talked to a handful of you guys about this as well. We're a business insurance company, so we're a little bit different than Northwestern Mutual and Cottingham and Butler, and we'll go into that in a second. We're out of Owatonna, Minnesota, just south of the Twin Cities. Been around for 120 years, so we're not a new company by any means, and we're in every county of the United States. We actually just hit $14 billion in assets now, which is pretty exciting. And we're continuing to grow at a pretty good pace. We're a mutual company as well. Anyone know what that means? Okay, mutual company just means that our clients own us, so we don't report to stockholders. Like I said, we're in every county of the United States. The biggest piece that's different about us is we're direct. So at Northwestern, they were talking about how they have access to the full market. They can go to different insurance carriers. All of our representatives, all of our claims people, everyone works for Federated Insurance directly. and we do everything face to face. Very little time in the office. The majority of what we do is walk into businesses, shake hands, and make relationships. So these industries are really our specialty. You can break them into four main ones. It's construction, manufacturing, petroleum, and then dealerships. So car, power sport, equipment, that type of thing. And the majority of what we do is property and casualty, which is everything in here. It's your property, it's your buildings, everything inside of it, liability, workers' compensation, vehicles on the road. Anything that a business has physically or liability wise is what we protect. We do a little bit of life and disability as well for business owners. But really the biggest piece of what we do is risk management. We try to partner with our business owners and come up with a plan of how to lower the likelihood of their people getting hurt, people dying, them hurting other people, to be able to help their insurance experience be as positive as possible. Instead of doing any advertising, everything that we do is through trade associations. So those industries that we just listed off, they all join trade associations for various benefits. What we do and what we've done for 120 years is instead of advertising, we partner with these associations. We advise them on risk management, financial matters, insurance, a few other economic type things. And what we do, or what they do in turn with us helping them out, they tell all of their members, which are all business owners, you should only work with Federated Insurance on your business insurance. So that's how, when we do our in-person calling, those interactions are a little more positive than if we didn't have those connections. So what it looks like to work for us, we have an 8-month training program that's paid. There's a base salary while you're there, and about 15 to 20 other individuals from all over the country move to Owatonna in our headquarters. We have a beautiful facility there, and basically you become an expert in commercial insurance and how to sell it. If you want to go to the next slide, this kind of lays out the program. So the first 3 months of it is what we call phase one. If you could go back one. Yep. Phase one, first 3 months is very, very much insurance product intensive. You become an expert in it. Phase two, you apply everything that you just learned in phase one and do exactly what you did today with your sales competition. You're doing that with your 15 to 20 other peers. Not sure what's happening with the font here. It's probably a little hard to read. And then phase three, every other week you're out in the real world, actually selling, servicing clients, getting a little bit more hands-on experience before your first 2 years. You take over an existing book of clients. You are tasked with growing that book, and you have unlimited commission right away, while I, as your manager, ride with you, help you close deals, and hopefully make you guys some money. The next slide then, speaking of money, we have a base salary with unlimited commission right away. So this kind of just gives you an idea of it. It can turn into a pretty cool opportunity, and it's changed my life.
Alrighty, Ben, thank you very much. Last but not least, Maddie Andrews, Cottingham and Butler.
All right. How are we doing, everyone? Doing good? Awesome. Okay, well, I am from Cottingham and Butler, as Dave has mentioned, so we can kind of just jump right into it. I know Ben kind of gave a breakdown of the insurance industry and what all that means. So at Cottingham and Butler, we are an insurance brokerage firm. Really what that means is we are professional buyers of insurance. We work with every industry imaginable, ranging from construction, agriculture, manufacturing, professional sports teams, massive universities like UCLA and USC. And really what our job is and our role is to consult businesses on what's the best option when it comes to their employee benefits, as well as their property and casualty insurance. So we're headquartered in Dubuque, Iowa. So is there any Iowans in here or Dubuque, Iowa people? No Iowans in this group? Okay, well, that's where we're headquartered. We also have offices in Madison, Edina, Minneapolis area, Dallas, Chicago, Des Moines, Iowa recently opened up, but we're at about 1,400 employees right now, growing pretty rapidly. And we have a 95% client retention rate across all of our different teams. Industry average is about 83%, so we're pretty proud of that. And beyond that, we actually now have all clients, or clients in all 50 states. One thing I like to call out is that we have 20 plus years of organic digital, double digit
organic growth. Gosh, I tripped over that. Which is kind of unique. Where most in businesses right now, it's kind of a struggling point where we continue to thrive. And we're actually the third largest privately and independently held broker in the nation. There's 38,000 of them out there. So we're proud of that. Moving on from there to give you a little bit more perspective of what we do. If you want to go to the next slide. So what we do as a insurance broker, it's really protecting what matters most to people as a business, and that's going to be their assets and their people, or as we like to call it, property and casualty insurance and employee benefits. So as Ben mentioned earlier, it's the physical building, it's the problems that could occur if it's a trucking company and they get into an accident and there's a casualty, if there's a tornado that hits a manufacturing plant. That's what our team does and works on behind the scenes to consult them on what's the best carrier for them, what policy do they need, and coverages underneath that. It's really being an expert. And on the other end of that, it's the employee benefits. It's consulting them on, what type of dental, vision, and medical plan are they looking for. And we negotiate on behalf of our clients with Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Cigna. It's problem solving and really trying to do best by people. All right, so this is kind of our wheel of services here. So I won't go too far into depth, but what it really highlights is all the suite of services that we offer. We have a health and wellness company called Health Check 360, or a safety management company, or captives, which we won't get into too much, but it's a really unique program that can help really save companies, save a lot of money in the insurance industry. So why do I share this? It's because this is lucrative to being successful in our industry, is providing value in multiple areas. It makes us tremendously competitive compared to those brokers that can't offer all these services. So it matters to our clients. Why does it matter to you all? For us, it's being able to not only be able to take care of our clients, but take care of our people. And that's something that we like to showcase, especially with how we give back. A big part of that is we've actually had 0 layoffs in the entirety of our existence, which is really unique. We're a 0 debt company, which is also a big unique piece about CMB. With that, it's having competitive salaries. It's a competitive benefits program, profit sharing. We had $4.1 million shared amongst our employees in 2024 and over 120 internal promotions. So going further into that, it's also giving back to our community. These are a handful of different organizations that we dive into. All of them are employee-led, which is a big part of just our community in general. Okay, so those of you that have seen the Field of Dreams, you might recognize this photo here because that's where it was taken in Dyersville, Iowa. But they say if you build it, they will come. We like to say if you protect it, they will stay. And that's a big part of our culture, is building people that are competitive, that want to win, have a drive to succeed. And we protect that in our interview process. We're looking for people that kind of have that similar mindset, the group project leaders, and this kind of just exemplifies the crew that we've got in that. All right. Oh, the graphic's a little off here. So as far as our internship program goes, we're going to have about 62 interns this summer, another really big group. It's 10 weeks, hosted in Dubuque, Iowa. We pay for your housing. It is truly immersive. On the sales side, if you are looking to get into sales, this is your opportunity to do real outside sales. You are cold calling, you are learning how to prospect, talk to different C-suite executives, and trying to convince them that we're going to be the better broker than what they currently have. So if you set a meeting and it's in Dallas or Denver or Seattle, you get to go there. We have 3 private planes for a reason, and that's to be able to service our clients and meet with them as quickly as we can. Beyond that, we have a few other roles that I'll get into later, but the whole goal of this program is for you to find out, can I see myself doing this as a full-time opportunity? Last summer, we had 45 interns. We offered 84% of that group, and 84% of that accepted. So we're proud of it. Getting into more of our roles here outside of sales, and these are all of our entry-level college student, graduate level roles, but you can also intern in these roles outside of sales too. A few key points, but there's a variety. If sales isn't something that you're like, I absolutely want to get into, the insurance marketer role is more of a hybrid of the analyst position and being able to have that sales personality. client management if you're really diligent and organized, but also are a people person. And our claims adjusters behind the scenes, they are investigating and diving into the details and helping our clients win over in situations. And a little glimpse of our intern program. I'm sure there's a lot of familiar faces of our Whitewater grads in here, but just kind of an idea of what we've got going on at CMB. If any of that sounds interesting at all, absolutely connect with me on LinkedIn. We've got the QR code here. And then my teammate Lizzie Gifford, her contact as well.
All right. Thank you very much for the introductions. Maddie, real quick, and then I'm going to come to you about this, Ben. Your role at CMB?
Oh, I am one of our campus recruiters. Yep.
Okay. And Ben?
I'm a hiring and sales manager. So part of my job is this. And then the other part is training and helping my salespeople close deals out in the field.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks to all of you. So some questions will be tailored more towards the HR side of things. Some will be tailored more towards the day in and day out. So feel free to pass the questions off to, especially to you, Katie and Jillian, to best answer. And I want to start here because last month we had a panel made up of people selling in and around the medical industry, which is a unique industry for sure, right? So start here with what makes selling in and around the financial industry and the insurance industries unique from some of the other products that we might be familiar with. Ben?
Yeah, it is unique. Everything that we sell has no tangible aspect to it. Everything is conceptual, and the majority of people have not had a situation where they've really had a big experience with insurance. So for us, it's more of being able to get people to picture and understand what can potentially happen, because it does happen to people. It's just, thankfully, it hasn't happened to them yet. We're selling a concept, and we're selling something that is really a book of promises that, other than us, no one really understands what they're purchasing. So we have to be able to educate and allow them to be able to see what the full picture looks like.
Add to that here. Being in our industry is really unique because it's a service, right? But it's also federally mandated that you have to have insurance to some degree as a business. So it's a need for them. It's just who can provide a better service. So there's a tremendous amount of stability, but also the sales process is a renewal. So if they decide they want to work with you, you are going to have that continued relationship, and you're not always trying to go out and find new clients. It turns into more of a maintenance.
Jillian?
Yeah, I would say between what we sell as far as like non-tangible products versus like medical device selling is that as a business owner, you know, through Northwestern Mutual, through any other company, you're not selling a product, you're selling yourself. You're selling the trust and the rapport that you've built with your clients. Essentially, if you've done a good enough job of understanding your clients' needs, goals, hopes, dreams, what they actually want to do in life, the rest of the products and the planning, the analyses, the illustrations that come with it essentially are kind of a given because people trust you. At the end of the day, the products that we offer, the services that we have are not specific to any company. I would say some of the strategies as far as like more in-depth, unique planning for certain high net worth individuals, like those are things that you'll learn over time. But at the end of the day, people want to work with you because they like you and they trust you. You're not selling Northwestern Mutual. You're not selling any of these other companies. You're selling yourself, you know, for lack of a better way to describe that, and why people want to work with you.
That's a really common theme, right? We sell ourselves before we sell anything else, or the sales colloquialism of know, like, and trust, right? People buy things from people that they know, they like, and they trust. So Ben hit on an interesting point of it's non-tangible, and we don't engage with it until we wish we didn't have to engage with it. So how do you guys do it, right? Like, how do you generate communication with your clients or develop that relationship with your clients without always talking about things that might go wrong or things that might be bad?
I think the biggest emphasis is, first of all, finding out what's important to them on a personal level, who's important to them, what do they care about outside of their work environment, because that's ultimately what is going to drive them to value whatever we're selling. Is they don't want to buy insurance, but they want to buy something that's going to make sure that their spouse and their child and the 150 employees that are reliant on them on a daily basis, it's going to guarantee that they can continue to live a normal lifestyle if they are no longer around, or if a bad accident happens, and they can guarantee that there's still an employer around for them.
Repeat that.
Yeah. How do you, because of the way insurance works, right? We engage with it we engage with it when we buy it, and then we don't really look at it again. At least a lot of us don't really look at it again until we need it, right? Something went wrong. So how do we develop this like trust with somebody without walking in all the time and saying, hey, this negative thing could happen, or this negative thing could happen, or we need to protect you from this negative thing that could happen? What does that skill look like?
That's a interesting perspective, because I would say when I'm talking with my clients about their hopes, goals, dreams, what's important to them, who's important to them, I'm bringing the future to the present. A lot of conversations that people don't want to have. That's why a lot of people don't have insurance. It's because I'm never going to die. I'm never going to become disabled. I'm never going to have a long-term care event. Like, what I do with my clients is, I wouldn't say I'm blunt, but I'm going to say, if you're not here tomorrow, what do you want to happen? And that's how I approach my conversations.
Even going off of that, I think one thing, it's obviously like developing that relationship and understanding what's important to them. It's also understanding what are some things that maybe they aren't thinking about. One of our team members I love to work with, she always, her favorite thing to ask is, okay, tell me about a claim that recently happened that you didn't necessarily agree with. And they can't wait to tell you about it. They can't wait to tell you that they had to pay out millions of dollars on something that they didn't agree with. And that's your moment to kind of sink your teeth in and say, okay, here's how I can help. So it's really kind of developing those points of where can I add value and also build that relationship.
Katie, given the unique relationship that we have to develop as sellers, right? Non-tangible products, late engagement, those types of things. What unique skills are we looking for? What unique skills should students try to cultivate? What unique skills do you guys look for from a recruiting standpoint? And obviously you can all ask that question, but I wanted to grab Katie's input on some of this.
Is this on? Okay. So some of the things I look for is someone who's a natural networker. So we want someone who's not afraid to reach out to people, not afraid to pick up the phone. A lot of the business is dealing with rejection and objections from individuals. You're going to face that a lot, and I feel like any career when you're selling something. So you need to be resilient throughout the whole process. You need to know how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's one of the main things I highlight when I interview with someone. Yes, it's a hard business to get into, but you need to develop the skill set to keep pushing forward because you have the potential to be successful. You're getting all the resources from individuals who've already established their business. You just need to push through those initial objections. And we also look for individuals who are self-starters. So in the beginning, I said, if you've ever wanted to open up your own business, this is a perfect thing to get into. So you really want to have that entrepreneurial mindset. You want to be able to reach out. You don't want to kind of wait for people to come to you because that's not always the case when you're a small business owner. But yeah, that's most of the things I like to highlight when I get asked that question.
Okay, fair. Ben?
I'd like to add on to that as well, because we are in a unique position where, especially us, but your business as well, the majority of the people we're talking to legally have to have it. So they already have someone they're working with. So an important aspect of what we do is competitiveness. Every interaction, I'm sure we've taken business from you guys, and I'm sure you guys have taken business from us. And it's a very competitive industry where there's never going to be a situation where you walk in and there's not someone already in there. So having someone that's, that enjoys the process of positioning, competing, working late nights, early mornings to be able to earn that person's business away from someone else is another aspect of it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's having that drive to succeed, the track record of success. And it could be, I'm super involved in everything I do, or I'm putting myself through school. So I'm working a couple jobs. Like those indicate that you are someone that is going to show up. Or I like to call it the figure it out mentality. When things get really, really tough, are you going to show up the next day? Those are some things that come to mind as well. Of course, being competitive, just along what Ben said.
Jillian, anything to add?
Yeah, one last thing. In addition to everything that they had just said, I always tell people you want to be more interested than interesting. Like the idea of being able to understand a person and ask hard questions that most people aren't asking them is not necessarily a skill that everyone's born with. I know that I wasn't. I love talking about myself, but also being able to know when to shut it off and ask people about what's genuinely important to them. People love talking and they love talking about themselves, i.e., me, right? So it's just being able to develop those relationships. At the end of the day, I had said this before, like we do some of the same business and we've all probably taken business from each other's companies in some shape or form, but that's because of the relationship that was built.
What else goes into retaining clients? We've talked, this has come up, I think, in every conversation, in every question now, right? And this, we started the semester with a seminar similar to this on business to business sales, which I worked in for a while. And one of the hallmarks is you're almost always taking business from somebody, right? Like they have whatever it is you're selling, they already have it. So we can probably skip the how important is retention, but if you'd like, talk to how important retention is, and then how do we retain our clients?
I think for us, as I kind of mentioned earlier, it's being diversified in what you can offer. We'll go up against massive brokers across the U.S., like the Marsh McLennans of the world, the Aons, and what else. What's unique is that it's kind of a good position to be in. We're kind of a mid-level broker where your boutique style, where you can specialize in certain areas like Ben and CMB does. Like we are really, really good at a few different niche points. So when you get those associations that are going to recommend you, like for us, a big one is Foundries. Like they make metal. We're the leading broker for them. It's having that relationship is only going to get you further into other industries or other companies or businesses within that industry. But when we go and compete, right, it's our ability to come as a united front and our teams know each other. When we go up against the massive brokers, they're going in there and meeting for the first time. That's not a good look. And I think there's a massive switch now to going more private compared to going to a public broker. So for us, I'm sure it's the same for Federated. It's being able to offer something that they're not getting, a better relationship, the value point of, is it the safety management team we need to look at? Is your claim services kind of poor at this point? What can we do to help? So it's always asking the right questions of what can we do more of?
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. I think another very important thing, not just in what we do, but in anything that you guys are eventually going to do, and especially in sales, it all comes down to value provided. If you can get people away from thinking about the price that they're paying and they're thinking more about the benefits that they're reaping from working with you, the relationship that they're developing, and really the bar is set pretty low in, I'd say, the majority of industries. As long as you do what you say you're going to do, you fulfill promises that you make, you don't overpromise, and you're able to be with that company, that individual a few times a year to just make sure that they feel comfortable with what you're doing. Sometimes that's all you need to do to be able to keep that retention high. The easiest wins for us are the people that haven't seen their company in a year, or they haven't seen them in multiple years, and they mail them a policy, and the only time they ever see them is when they're getting a check cut. Um, we try to meet with all of our clients 4 times a year, and our retention is in a similar spot, which both of us are at the top of our industry as far as client retention because of that.
Very good. Jillian?
Yeah, I would say the relationship and going off of what Ben had said is the idea of doing what you said you would do and also being honest and open. Like if I don't know something, I'm going to tell someone, hey, I don't know the answer to that, but I could quickly look it up or I can get back to you. Like your doctor will Google your symptoms in front of you if you've ever had that happen to you. Just the idea of being open and honest and letting people know all of their options. At the end of the day, like I said, we fly Northwestern Mutual's flag, but we're not limited to their products. If I think that there's another product or other company that I think is beneficial for them, letting them know all of their options, what you recommend, but letting them choose at the end of the day. And I always tell people through the interview process as well, because I do a lot of full-time recruiting as well. This is a client building business, but it's also client retaining. I tell people we call them clients, they're not customers. We are building relationships for generations to come. I love doing generational planning. I want to get introduced to mom, dad, grandparents, aunts, uncles, children, grandchildren. I want to be that point of contact going forward for when life happens, they know to call me. We're going to get married, we're going to have babies, we're going to get promoted, we're going to lose a job, someone's going to get into an accident, someone's going to pass away. Life's just going to happen. So making sure that as life happens, right, not all of our clients are going to be proactive to reaching out to us, but making sure that we're following up with them quarterly, semi-annually, annually, whatever relationship that you guys established on what your correspondence will look like, making sure that we're calling them. Because I tell people, if you're not calling them, somebody else is calling them. And the easiest time to take over new clients is down markets, essentially. When the market's not like at its normal, when people are complaining about, I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue being in retirement, if I'm going to have to go back to work. Like if their advisors aren't calling them and you call them, they're going to essentially think of a lot more things that they want to talk about with somebody else.
Excellent. Thank you. Katie, one of the things that we hear, Andy and I hear all the time is, I don't know anything about insurance. How could I get into that industry? What do you, we covered what you look for. What do you say to somebody who says, I don't know anything about insurance. I don't know if I could do that?
Yeah, so the great thing about our internship program specifically is that you don't need to be a finance major by any means. I have a computer science major coming in the spring. I've recruited multiple economics majors. You don't have to be constrained to finance. We teach you everything you need to know during training. So you don't need to study anything. You don't need financial knowledge prior. You're going to work with such great mentors who are there for you and growing you as an individual and as a representative. So yeah, you don't need to have any financial knowledge to get into this market. There are career changers who change jobs at 45 years old and they make it work. That is definitely harder than starting off in an internship program. So start early if it's something you're interested in, is what I would like to say.
Very good. Thanks. Maddie?
I guess for similarly, I would say you don't have to know insurance like the back of your hand. We're going to teach you and give you all the tools necessary to build you up. I mean, we've got a tremendous program to train you. It's a 1-year program, but with that, it's you have to have the skill set to want to learn, the genuine curiosity. I think that is probably something that I would encourage you all to think of is why do I want to get into this? And am I passionate behind it? Because if you don't have that, it's going to be tough to convey that to your buyer. So for us, it's we'll teach you everything. You just got to bring the skill set of I'm ready to learn and I care about this.
Fabulous. Thanks. Ben, I can't tell if you,
I'll just ask a question. Who here knows they just want to sell insurance? They woke up that this is what I want to do the rest of my life. Right. I did not do that either. And insurance was never on my radar until I did an internship with C&B and I was able to see what the opportunities looked like. For us, it's the same thing. We honestly would prefer you don't have a lot of insurance knowledge because we can teach you the way that we do it. Our insurance is very different than the way that they do insurance and vice versa. It's a great thing, honestly, to have a blank slate. We just want to see someone that's willing to work hard. They're competitive, they're a leader, and they've put themselves in uncomfortable positions.
fantastic. Thank you. Jillian, did you want to add anything? Or I have another question.
They hit the nail on the head.
Fabulous. So, Jillian, as a practitioner, not that we don't like our HR friends, but as a practitioner, and then we'll come over to Ben on this. What are the biggest things? What are the biggest challenges facing people in your line of work, in your industry currently?
Like some of the biggest challenges advisors face.
Advisors are facing. Absolutely.
I would say in general, the idea of like the fear of rejection. A lot of people won't make that phone call. They won't ask that hard question. They won't say whatever it might be because they're afraid of what somebody else might just say. Like the biggest part of what we do is phoning and prospecting. So at the end of the day, the world is your oyster. You can call whoever you want. But the second step is calling them, essentially, introducing to them who you are, what you do, how you do it, and asking for that conversation. I see a lot of advisors in our industry, like imagining how the phone call is going to play out for the next 10 minutes before they'll actually pick up the phone. And then they do pick up the phone and they press that dial button and the person doesn't even answer. It's the idea of overthinking. Like my dad's been a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual for the last 24 years. And what he'll say to people is stop thinking, get out of your own way. At the end of the day, it's not about you. The work that we do as financial advisors, as insurance agents, as investment advisors, it's not about us. It's about the benefit of our clients, what they want to do, their hopes, goals, dreams, things like that. The amount of times that you don't pick up the phone, you don't call that person, you assume that they're all set, you're only hurting them, you're not hurting yourself.
Thank you very much. Ben, what do you think? What your viewpoint as somebody who's in the field day in and day out? What's the biggest challenges you guys are facing?
The biggest challenge I would say is the market. The insurance market is constantly changing because of different world events. Right now, the big things are texting and driving is killing a lot of people, and it's causing a lot of major lawsuits across the United States that insurance companies are getting involved in and have to pay, 10, 20, $100 million out. That affects even your guys' insurance rates on your cars. So that's a huge piece of it. And being able to, first of all, educate our clients on what's important so that their own employees don't go die on the road or go kill other people. That's a big piece of it. Another thing is all the storms. I'm sure around here you guys have seen more hailstorms in the last 2 years than you've probably seen in your entire life. That's a real thing that's causing a lot of difficulties for, I think for you guys too, being able to place coverage with people that want to insure buildings that are in areas that have hail. Your homeowner's insurance probably doubled. Your parents dead in the last couple of years. There's a lot of challenges because of all the things that happen within the world. So for us, being able to educate people and see the value in what we're providing that's pertinent to those different world events is huge.
One of the things that we, the students, the professors are constantly asked about, how is technology changing the work that we're doing, right? We're buzzwording with AI and the various versions of generative AI and things like that. How is technology impacting your roles, each of you? We can start wherever you want.
You. I would say Northwestern Mutual is definitely embracing it, but in a slower way. Like with AI, we all know that if you Google something, AI is the first thing that comes up, whether it's right or wrong. It's just the answer that comes to mind from whatever it generated. I would say finding like false narratives or false information out there is something that the industry would face struggles in as far as like new technology, because we can't necessarily always trust AI. You never know what you can believe until you actually meet with somebody who knows what they're talking about, has studied this stuff, has their licenses, designations, whatever it might be.
I would say we're similar to Northwestern Mutual. We're a very conservative in our decision company, and we're slow to develop. On the front end, with us going in person and doing our job, it has almost changed nothing. On the back end, though, the efficiencies that we've been able to develop with our underwriting and our processing and all of the different behind the scenes things, the experience as a salesperson is incredibly, first of all, easier, more efficient, but way more enjoyable because we're not doing so much data entry, so much filing of things, having to keep track of all of these different forms. It's so much easier on the front end because of all the work that's been done on the back end.
Yeah, I would say on the campus recruiting side, I mean, for me, I love it because it's helpful in some regards when you're doing silly things like answering an email quick or trying to get like the right formatting of something. You can plug it in, and it's super helpful. But honestly, like in the recruiting structure, when I'm trying to summarize feedback from interviewers, that's a tool we love to use to get concise feedback from everyone. The other point I would say across CMB, kind of what Ben had said as well, is we're thoughtful about where we implement things. We're not just going to go all in. But there's bits and pieces that we've taken on. Like, for example, when we're checking through policies, these can be thousands and thousands of pages. So it's used to all be done by hand, to individually check everything. And now you can utilize some systems that even our own employees have built out to check those and reduce the time where it's more of a mundane task, and our employees and teammates can use their skill set for better things. So it's only gonna, I think, in some regard, help you. At least in our industry, it's not replacing anyone on our end. It's just using it to an advantage to give you better time.
I just want to add quickly, speaking to the zero layoffs, we've had no layoffs as well. If you guys pull articles up, just go on the normal like front page of whatever news outlet you use. I guarantee you're going to see a company with hundreds of layoffs happening at once because of the AI movement that's happening. You don't see that in any of our industries because it requires the face-to-face. It requires the human element of it. That stability, I know I'm speaking maybe for all of us, is it's so promising for our futures knowing that we are going to be sitting in a good spot with our careers in the next 10, 20 years.
I mean, I've had so many of my friends go through rounds of layoffs and they love the companies they work at, but that's stressful, that's agonizing, and that's something that I've never had to worry about. Ben hasn't, and Katie and the rest of the team, like that's something that has never come to mind for them. So it's kind of a unique piece.
Interesting. Katie, you had
Yeah, I was gonna build off of what Maddie had to say when it comes to recruiting in AI. I think it's a great tool. I mean, I used AI in college, just like many of you probably do, but it helps speed up processes. And we have a really unique thing where Northwestern Mutual kind of built out its own like NMGPT. So it's really unique. It takes research from past clients, cases, whatever it is, and you can ask specific industry questions and get a more like pinpointed answer than going out to like general AI that's not specialized in your field of work.
it's interesting because you and both of you've all touched on it a little bit. The human element, the human contact element, still absolutely critical. From your viewpoint, more important today, but yet harder to attain at the same time? Or are we going? What does that look like as far as getting in front of people, talking to people? How important is that time, and is it harder to arrange now because we feel like technology should be able to do something in there?
I think at least our team, it's vital to being successful. Um, our clients, they want to see that you care, so showing up in person is going to do that. You also can develop a relationship, a much stronger relationship in person, right? So I mean, yes, you're going to utilize the virtual things or email and whatever else, but at the end of the day, they want to see that personalized relationship of going above and beyond anyone else that they're maybe discerning as a broker.
Even coming from a recruiting standpoint, I'm sure many of you have done online interviews through like an AI website. I hated them. They were not fun. You're not able to really show like your charisma as if you were in an in-person interview. You're really able to show body language, your confidence on a screen. I mean, sometimes you can't even like redo the clip, so it's terrible. And I think that doing recruiting in person, being physically present on campus is such a large part of building the relationship, recruiting students for internship programs. You're able to ask me real life questions. I'm able to show that I'm thinking about it. I am being cautious of the things you're saying and taking into account all of your concerns. And I can do that in real time instead of AI, which doesn't have the personal touch. There's students who get super nervous on interviews and like AI won't tell you that it's okay. I want you to think you're talking to your friend. It's okay to be nervous. You don't have that personalized touch when you are doing the generative AI interviews.
Go ahead, Jillian.
Yeah, I would just say I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I think it's going to be really hard for AI to replace like people facing, client facing, customer facing relationships. At the end of the day, like when you're looking to buy a product or you're going to a service, whether you're getting your hair done, nails done, like not many people want to go and do it with a machine or an AI kind of service because you're not going to have that personal touch.
Very good. Thank you. We're getting close to time, so questions from anybody out? Hayden? You want to just belt it out or?
So working well with and closely with interns, what are some things such as traits or behaviors that differentiate those who do exceptionally well throughout the year versus those who are doing more of a basic job?
I would say the it's important to have the internship experience for myself. I'm going to just speak for Federated in my role, hiring outside salespeople. For the internships, the people that we hire are the ones that have been able to prove that they've been able to have success amongst their peers, whether it's how many calls they're making, how much money they were able to generate, what projects did they take on in addition to what they're currently doing. Those are the metrics that are more tangible. But the big things that I want to see is I want to see someone that's taken on leadership roles within AMA. I want to see people that have taken leadership roles within something else that they do. They've put in the extra time that no one else is putting into something is another thing. I like to see a diverse group of things too. So not just AMA, but you joined other clubs to get in front of other people that are maybe less like-minded than you, to be able to put yourself in uncomfortable spots. Those are all intangible things. The biggest thing though is the leadership piece for us. We only promote from within. We don't hire anyone from outside the company other than the entry level role. So we're looking for people that have experience leading groups of people, being able to influence them.
Yeah, I would say for the standout interns that we have, the ones that are going above and beyond, like you're going to have a goal of how many cold calls you need to make, your conversion rate, which would be appointment set and travel points as well. Those that do the best understand that that's kind of your bare minimum of where you need to hit. Everything else is I'm exceeding my goals, and that's my real goal. The people that are going out and being that networking person, that's developing new relationships outside of the division they're interning in, trying to take advantage as much of the program as you can. Those are our standout players. But I mean, being a leader, being someone genuinely curious, and also trying to just kind of push themselves even each day.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. For us, internship seriously is like the route to full time. Our interns are our future advisors. We want to keep you here for as long as possible, keep you engaged, but that also has to come on your end as well. We can do all the mentorship and training, we can have all that scheduled, but you need to show up at the end of the day. You can't just use the excuse of life's getting super busy and put your obligations off to the side. You committed to doing an internship. We want you to be here and we want you to exceed in all of the things that you're supposed to do, but we want you to be a leader. We want you to take initiative. If you think you can handle more responsibility, definitely say so. If you want to study for a new license, something like that, you need to prove to us first, and then we can have a conversation about how to grow you.
Fantastic, Jillian.
Lastly, I would say being coachable, and that's a huge thing in order to be like the standout interns that I've seen. It's understanding that when someone gives you feedback, it's not because they want to hurt your feelings, it's because they truly see something in you and want to help you get better. We have something called Monday morning reporting with our full-time advisors, and I'm somebody who helps lead that sometimes. I always tell people, if we're not giving you feedback, you should be worried, because at the end of the day, we're kind of giving up on you. Like, we can't want it more than you. This is a business where it's very entrepreneurial. You have to want it more than your mentors. We can only pour so much into you. So being coachable. I would also say we have a year-round program, so we have summer, spring, and fall. I had started in the fall, so I did go to school Monday, Wednesday, and I did my internship Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. It's understanding that life's always going to happen. There's always going to be something next. So I have this obligation, I have this obligation. It's understanding time management. So I would say a lot of our successful interns don't stop during the school season. You know, if you start in the school season, obviously you're going to keep going, but let's just say you come in the summer, like if you want to continue on in the internship, like you have to do something. It's really hard to start something, build something really cool, and put it for a pause for 4 months and come back to it.
Very good. That's a coaching. Thank you. I've got time for one more question. Joe?
So when you're starting out in the insurance side of things, I know it's very important to maintain those long-lasting relationships. But when you're first starting out, you're really trying to just build your book and, maintain, or like, I suppose, gain connections. So what are some of the main aspects that are more important for, the newer side of sales, trying to gain these new people rather than maintaining those relationships?
Yeah, on our end, we do have the benefit of taking over an existing book of clients. So our reps do take over somewhere between 30 and 120 businesses that they're working with, but you still need to grow your book. And the best way to do that is just high activity in the beginning of your time. You're going to put in more hours than you likely ever have into a job in those first 1, 2, 3 years. The more people that you get in front of, the sooner you get in front of them, the sooner you're no longer the new person in that area. 2 touches, 3 touches, all of a sudden they view you as an advisor, an expert in what you do, an established person. But it all comes down to activity. And in our role, doing everything in person, we expect 100 stops a week. And you do that over the course of a year, and you've gotten in front of quite a few individuals.
Yeah. Oh, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in our industry, we don't do cold calling. You certainly can, but I wouldn't recommend it. We do something called referred lead prospecting, which is the idea of getting introduced to somebody. Like when I call someone, I'll say, "Hey, this is Jillian. I'm good friends with Katie Park. How are you? Build some rapport. What's your weekend plans? How's your day? Did Katie mention that I'd be reaching out? Blah blah blah." Anyways, I'm a financial advisor. I've been doing some work with Katie for a bit here now. She didn't assume that you were in the market for any of the work that we do, just said really cool things about you and said that we had to meet. So with that being said, would love to have an introductory conversation sometime next week. How does Thursday at 4 sound? That's kind of what my phone call looks like. But the only way I got introduced to Katie is because I asked somebody who I had the opportunity to sit in front of. At the end of the day, your best relationships are going to come from in client meetings. Like I go to a ton of networking events, but those are more long-term plays. When I'm in front of somebody, that's my best opportunity to get introduced to the people that they like and trust and care about, and also want to make sure are being taken care of. So every single time you're in front of somebody for a meeting, asking for that introduction. You've earned the right, you do good planning, making sure that you ask every single time because you're never going to get another opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hitting the phones. It's having a good amount of activity in it. It's also investing in you and being able to provide that expertise. A good portion of our training program is you're sitting on the bench for the first 3 months. You're spending a lot of time studying and becoming an expert because you're going up against people within our industry that have 20 years of experience on you. So, in order to win, you have to be likable, but you also have to bring something to the table and be credible. So, in order to do that, you have to build up that background knowledge, the stories. It's traveling with our top level executives to learn from them and to have those wins to reference. But ultimately, it's also once you get a win, it's getting that referral. More often than not, our client generation is going to come from referrals. These industries that we work with are tight knit, and if you can establish a good relationship with one, it's going to only grow for you.
One other thing I just want to add that's kind of a random thought tied to this a little bit is this industry has one of the highest average ages as far as representatives go. There is a ton of 50 to 60-year-olds that are going to be retiring within the next 10 to 20 years. And there's going to be a lot of opportunity in these industries to be able to take those businesses over, take over those books of business and have a successful career. I don't think that's the case in a lot of industries. I would say the average age in ours is high 60s or high 50s, low 60s.
Wait, one more thing. So to piggyback off of that. In the finance world too, this is a very male-dominated industry when women, own 55% of the wealth in America. So we're also at an advantage of being young and being a woman in the industry. At the end of the day, women kind of want to work with women. So starting early and also entering into a field where maybe you don't feel as comfortable because there's a lot of men around you. At the end of the day, you have actually an advantage.
As Ben mentioned, yeah, 50% of this market that we're in is going to retire, which is great for you. A ton of opportunities. So get out there and go and connect. This is your opportunity to really grow your own capacity for what you can do for yourself. And this industry is also really unique where there is no ceiling or cap to how much you can earn. I mean, we have people that have a $14 to $15 million book of business at CMB. Average is 1.2 million. You're getting 20% on that each year if you do right by your clients. So there's a lot of opportunity that I would say other industries don't offer.
Thanks. Katie, I'm going to start with you and we'll work our way to the left. We're out of time, or we're almost out of time. So this room is made up of people that have a couple years of school left, all the way up to people that will be done in 17 days, right? So what advice would you give to the soon to be graduated and the have some time left in college, but are eventually going to go out into the world?
Yeah, I think I have a really unique perspective because I was you 6 months ago. I just recently graduated. I did the job searching. I applied to 80 jobs before I got this one. I know the struggle, I've lived it. And I try and relate to every single person I talk to in that aspect. It's really scary not having next plans lined up. The anxiety when other people talk about it is literally crippling, but just know you're not actually behind. I mean, I landed my first job in March. I graduated in May. It's a long ride, it's a long process, it's, a lot of proving you're allowed to be in a space or you need to prove that you can have a position, but at the end of the day, I like to say that in every interview, you're also interviewing your interviewer. So you are looking for this position, you don't know much about it, you don't know much about the company, ask all the questions you need to have all the information, see if this is really an industry you wanna get into. Yes, I'm asking you questions about yourself, but also study me, study the business, study my path, whatever it is, the knowledge you need to decide what's right for you. And yeah, I mean, for looking for jobs, network as much as possible. You have a huge network of alumni who would be more than willing to set up a 15 to 30-minute call with you. So search on LinkedIn for alumni in industries you want to get into. Message them, say, "Hi, I'm a current student. I am graduating in X year or in X amount of days. Can we please set up a meeting and you tell me about your experience? How did you get into this business?" Networking is the number one thing you can do for yourself. Meeting people through others, going to events, whatever it is, put yourself in front of individuals. I always say that closed mouths really don't get fed. So you have to prove yourself and put yourself in the situations to be in front of big individuals. So yeah, if a student messaged me about trying to set up a meeting, I would 100% take it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't think twice. So reach out to alumni, whoever else you have.
Yeah, I mean, what Katie said, I think that's a huge compliment. Like the messages that I get on LinkedIn about somebody seeing that I'm a woman in finance and wanting to have a conversation with me, I'm like, it's a huge compliment. So I always will take those. And I would also say, as you're looking for jobs, you might have your heart set on something, but it's just a crazy industry right now. Like try something new, be uncomfortable. Katie said this earlier with being uncomfortable. At the end of the day, most people will change careers, I think, 7 times in their life. Not me though, but most people will. Where you should just try something new. At the end of the day, where you're young. I just brought on a 55-year-old career changer who was in the restaurant industry for 30 plus years. He's trying something new. So it's never too late. Try something that you're not super familiar with. Maybe you have a little bit of interest just because you don't have the knowledge behind it, whatever it might be, try it. And then I always tell people too, when you're looking for a job, a career, always look for the 3 I's. It's impact, income, and independence. There's very far and few careers out there where you can have all three. Like neurosurgeons, they have the impact and the income, they have no independence, 14-hour days. Teachers have the independence and the impact, right? They're teaching the next generation of individuals, but they don't have essentially the income. So as you're looking for those careers, you might not always find all three, but definitely take those into consideration as you're exploring opportunities.
Yeah. I would say you got to consider what matters most to you. Is it going to be, and does that align with the companies that you're applying for? Is it locations a top tier point for you? Is it the development and long term growth? If I asked you right now, if you wanted to see what your next 10 years looked like, you'd probably want to know. Well, you can find that out reaching out to these people that are at the companies you're at and asking, okay, where'd you start? Then what was your next 5 years and where are you at now? Really getting you have a sure answer of what you're gonna get into by investing time into that. My other point would be, you know, there's so many applicants, and I know that's overwhelming. Do not be afraid to sell yourself. You're competing, right? But there's so many awesome points about you. There's so many students I talk to where they sell themselves short. They're like, "Well," I'm like, "Tell me about something that was really unique about you." And they're like, "Well, I guess I lived in like Ireland for a couple of years." I'm like, "That's so cool. That's such a great point about you. Share that." Or, "I'm putting myself through school and I'm working multiple jobs." Like those are some key points about you. We want to get to know you at your core. We can teach you insurance. Um, don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Jillian, I'm gonna steal the 3 I's in the future because that's the biggest thing for us as well. And that those three things are very, very important when you're looking for a career. You guys have already said some great things. In addition, I think be a lifelong learner. Read as much as you can. It sounds silly. I read 5 to 6 days a week. Make sure you put in the effort to continually learn. If you don't, your position will help you learn a little bit, and you'll hit a cap within that position of knowledge, and then it may be limited. Read as much as you can. 2, put yourself in uncomfortable positions. Seek out discomfort. That's the only time you grow. If you feel comfortable every single day and you're never nervous, I don't love public speaking, but every year I've felt a little bit better up here about this. So that's something. 3, I did not do this in college. Get connected with employers early. I hire 2 to 3 people a year. Everyone that I've hired from here, UW-Madison, I started talking to them either as a freshman or a sophomore. Claire Lebecki, I think, was like 14 when I started talking to her. she was very
Not quite that young.
yeah, but she was young. But no, seriously, start talking to your employers freshman, sophomore, junior year, because there is an aspect of being able to figure out that relationship, find out what the company is actually about. It's easy for an interviewer to put on a show for 1, 2, 3 interviews over the course of a month. But if you've been interacting with them for 2, 3 years, you're going to have a lot better idea of if it's a good fit for your career.
Absolutely. Thank you. Maddie, it looked like you had something else to say. Okay. Round of applause for our panel. Thank you guys very, very much. I know Rafa's got a couple things to say, so I'm going to kick it back to him. All 4 of them will be available for a little bit of time afterwards. And again, if you need contact information from them, please let us know.
All right, yeah. Just real quick, make sure you scan the QR code to be counted for attendance. Give Dave a round of applause for being an awesome moderator. And then once you sign in, you're good to go. That's all we have for the meeting today. So thank you guys all for coming, and we hope to see you all next Monday in here at 6:30 for pizza, studying, and maybe the Bucks game. Thanks, everyone. Please come down and talk to the employers. I mean, these guys all want to, be here and talk to you. So, if anything they said interests you, don't hesitate to come up.